Welcome everyone to Filter in My Podstream. Thank you all for being here and supporting the both of us. We created this Podstream because we wanted to get to know more about our fellow streamers, followers, and viewers in the community. When we're streaming, it's kind of hard to get to know someone from Stream Chat, so we've decided we were going to bring on at least two individuals each Podstream who we were interested in getting to know better. As some of you who were here to watch our first pod stream, sorry, either live or via VOD, we had announced we'd be doing a fundraiser once a month for a chosen recipient to help make their life a little better. We also announced that we'd be choosing a recipient once a month who cannot afford a Star Wars sub and gifting them a 60-day sub so that they can play the game without restrictions to keep the magic going. So, without further ado, let me introduce our first interviewee today, which will be Caramels. Filter.
What do you want me to do?
Wow.
Oh, okay. So, Caramels, why don't you start off by introducing yourself? And the platform is yours, so go ahead. If anybody doesn't know her.
Yeah. Where's where's everybody at? Okay, hi. Yeah. My name's Caramel, and I am commonly seen as Cheesecake when I'm around the area. So
Cheesecake.
yeah, the cheesecake that's been running around, but there's another cheesecake in the game as well. So
No,
excuse me for that.
no,
But yes.
no other cheesecake.
I have been a sage healer for like fucking forever. God knows I can't remember anymore. But I've always been a sage healer for a while, and then when things starts getting boring, that's when I start switching to DPS and sandbag the shit out of PvP. But so far, um, yeah, I'm the cheesecake running around and being toxic sometimes.
And how often do you curse?
Quite a lot, really. Quite frequent, if you haven't noticed. So when I stream, it's like most of the time I would give out a warning as to whoever is going to be in my channel to be please be 18 or above, or at least be ready to cover your ears if you're not up for a cursing, because I do curse a lot. Like, I, well, yeah, I'm not gonna make an excuse on that one, but as I was saying, it's not, it's mostly either out of fun or anything.
Now, would you say just with SWOTR there? How long have you been playing SWOTR, and how did you find out about the game?
SWTOR, I have been with SWTOR for I don't know since the beginning of the game, and I don't know. SWTOR itself was my very first MMO, so that's it took me about a good 6 years before I finally figured things out. Probably I still don't know a lot of things about SWTOR, but it's been my first MMO, and then that's when I started playing games about 7 years ago. So I'm not by default a gamer. I could call myself a gamer. And how I found out about it is that I used to work for a vendor, a company that when SOTOR first launched, I was part of their support team. So as a kind of a contractor type. So when the game came in, I knew about. I kind of figured out it was in the area of my work job before, so I joined in and became part of that. That's why I started playing it. I had to kind of know about what my job kind of gives me.
So you've been playing it since like launch, basically, since alpha, beta, all the good stuff.
Last part of beta.
Part of beta.
So yeah, that's mainly when I started.
And then you mainly do, just so everyone knows, you mainly do ranked PvP. You don't do anything else. Do you do like regs at all, or just ranked? Strictly ranked.
No. When up until about halfway season 9, I've always been in regs and PvE. So, reg star wise, I'm just healing around regs and not doing anything aside from those two areas. Rarely come into flashpoints or master mode, but only to explore. And I do raid on Mondays, and just Mondays because I'm with mostly Tragic anyway. So we do raid on a Monday, and that's my only PVE time after season 9.
She does it all though.
She
No,
does it all.
Yeah,
Lord.
you do. Yeah, you do. You do regs, you do ranked, you do raids. That's like all
Uh,
encompassing.
no, not as much with PVE, but I do regs whenever things or Q is dead. So I would just jump in and do nothing and get chased around.
Is it mainly on the Starforce server? Are you on Satil? Are you on Darth Malgus?
I I used to be with Satil Shan. Then after the last merge, I moved all my tunes to Starforge, and I have about 2 tunes in Darth Malgus. So I play in Darth Malgus roughly around the weekends. So Saturdays, Sundays, because that's the only time I can keep up with the server time and the pops. So I do play DM and then switch to Starforge. But I'm mostly sitting in Starforge 5 out of 7 days.
And how often would you say? Because I know for me, I want to see you stream, and I missed the one stream that you had out of like it seems like this year. But I mean, are you gonna ever like stream it more often than just that one time per year, or what?
Yeah, I'm hoping I could do a couple of streams at least. I'm not a frequent streamer because mainly I don't want to divide the audience that we have for ranks because most of the time that's where the fun starts. If you have other people or you have other ranked streamers that are already on, I would rather not divide their audience because I'm jumping into their streams as well and watch them and support from there. But I'm hoping I could do it at least twice a month, hopefully.
Well, I mean, you don't have to worry about dividing. I mean, there's like three or four usually on at the same time. So I mean, it's
Yeah,
just different venues, different avenues people can watch, different viewpoints and whatnot. So
yeah. I'm mostly a lurker though, so that's why I'm a quiet audience.
She's
So
shy.
oh yes, I'm just watching an observer
but when she
because I
games, she's loud, right?
Oh, extremely. It's hard to tell though who's worse, me or her.
I'm a lot worse really. Compared to most of the people that streams, it's like most of the streamers you get are like either, well, not Devil, he's funny, but for a woman that streams solo ranks, I'm a bit harsher than normal ladies.
Harsher than Nami.
Harsher than that. Well, yes, I think so.
I think Nami's starting to get up there in the top 10 of really abusive language now. It's not Nami like anymore. So
That's what happens, or that's how rank transforms you. So
and
it
about
can get like that.
oh, how many hours would you say you play SWTOR a day? Don't be embarrassed. We want true numbers.
I could say about during the weekdays, probably 6 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours.
We said true
And
numbers, not fake numbers.
hey, that's real because I would come home from work. I still work 9 to 5, so after that, well, 9 to 5 U.S. standard time, but that's like 3 in the afternoon till 11 in the evening for me since I'm GMT. So uh, I still work in the mornings. I'm using my time zone in the US, but yeah, I work in the mornings and then game at night. And sometimes I would just stay awake at night and sleep at around 7 a.m. for me, I think. And during the weekends, I just goof around.
And then hopefully we can see you streaming a lot more during those times, right?
I don't normally show people how I get globaled, but I'd love to. I've
I
been
show
a bit.
people how I got globaled.
Oh god, it's embarrassing. It's just that having to kind of see the others see me as a decent healer and then get globaled in a span of fucking 10 seconds. It's ridiculous.
Now, in general, there, I just want to know what classes do you play? Because I've seen you mainly on a Sage on pub side, but what classes do you play? Mainly healing classes, DPS, tank. What's your main Merc, Sage, all that good stuff?
Definitely not tank. I don't know how to tank. I I do mainly Sage Sword heals, and I have about roughly 8 Sork and Sages, all in all. So, despite having those tunes, by the way, I'm still garbage, but I try to make as much as possible improvement every so often. But I'm mainly Sork Sage heal, and then when things do get boring in ranks, I would go, say, Sin and Jug, but I'm mostly playing with my Sin because I can hide. So it kind of gives me that advantage of like, shit, I'm fucked. I'm gonna go run off and just sit there and probably wait for my DPS to kill some shit.
I'm letting you guys know this is not a PG stream. This will be an X-rated stream. So just to let you guys know.
I'm sorry.
Listen, it hasn't quite gone to X-rated yet. I mean, I
know,
think that's
right? What is
little
X? Well, he is going to ask the hardball questions later, so it could turn that way.
What is your real name? It's not Caramels.
No, what's this? I like lurking streams.
She might not want to say that. I don't care. People can know whatever they want to know about me.
All right, then I'll ask you the hardball question. I'll kind of give her the softy ones there. And, pass it.
Oh, that's soft. Okay, I thought that was already medium.
Well, the hard question would have been, what's your favorite position? See, that would be a hardball question. In game, of course. In game. We're talking about in game.
Oh, are we?
Well,
I was
not,
fully
not,
preparing to answer that out of game.
Nami's is a sniper position.
Wow, Rojan's about to
Oh,
give up.
so she likes to be crouched down, is what you're saying?
So,
On her knees.
Rojan has no problems telling.
She wants to be
your-
undercover.
Oh,
She's got to entrench first. Hold on, guys. Just dig it in.
okay, Caramels, you told me this boy was going to be shy. This does not. If this is shy, I don't even know. This is it. Filter.
She wasn't ready for this.
Filter.
She wasn't
Do
expecting
not watch and learn. Did you hear this? Do not watch and learn.
Oh god.
it. She's laying down that diversion right now.
Oh my god. Okay.
What
Back
do you
to
mean I
the
just-
interview. Let's get off me.
Get ready for the ambush. It's coming.
Oh my.
It's not gonna be me now. It's not me.
As long as it doesn't roll into a penetrating blow.
Wow, this guy has some puns. Wow. This is not shy at all. And why are we talking about me? I say
Hey,
Caramel.
you're the one that's talking about sniper positions. I'm just
I
saying.
didn't say a word about sniper position whatsoever. I said that. You know what? I'm not saying a damn word anymore because all I was saying is that this did not go into X version or X rated. X rated.
I believe this is still PG-13.
Okay. You know what? Filter.
You should hear the raging juggernaut abilities. Puns too.
Oh god.
Okay. Filter. Focus on the interview and who the interviewees are.
All right. I'll calm down for now. Getting back on track from this, let's go back to PG-13 here. Are there any changes, recommendations you would like to see in the game?
Holy fucking shit, the class stack. If that could change, I would
That's
fucking
literally the same thing I was gonna
kill
say. Was
myself.
the matchmaking system?
Yeah, it's the matchmaking system of the game itself, because it's just regularly class stacking 3 fucking marauders and 3 mercenaries all together in one group, and like fucking cancer.
It triggers me even more as somebody that's done programming for a video game before, that they can't seem to figure out how to properly code a matchmaking system that correctly backfills with proper roles. Like, so many times that I've seen 3v4s start when I know there's more people in queue, and the people that are on the team with only 3 are taking rating loss. It just doesn't make sense to me. They should cancel the whole game for everybody. No rating difference.
So the match, because I know that's like a new feature. They were trying to like, oh yeah, let's try and get like say if we're doing regs, let's get two tanks on, one tank on this side, one tank on that side, one healer on this side, one healer on that side.
Yeah, and for
I don't
regs, it's
know.
less of an issue if they don't get it perfect because they're gonna try their best on the coding side to match. Okay, one or two tanks per team, one or two healers per team. Try to match it up so that there's not three healers on one side and one healer on the other side, and that's fine. It's when it comes to solo ranked where people's rating and elo are literally on the line, and they can't get a proper matchmaking system to work, and they have people that decline the pop and they don't backfill it, or they just miss the pop in general.
And that being just the one change, I know because I agree. Just for regs, when I was still doing regs, I mean that was an issue in general. Seeing two healers on one side, zero healers on one side, or like when someone leaves, then it's like a healer leaves and you get with it, it gets pre-filled with the DPS. It doesn't become balanced at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's only so much they can do when a healer does leave and they don't have another healer to take their spot. I mean, might as well give you something other than just leaving the spot empty. So in regs, I could see that happening, and it's regs, so it's whatever. Try to deal with it, but in ranked, it's literally make or break.
Would you
In
guys
fact,
like? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, a lot of times as a healer, when I get into a game and the other team healer doesn't take it or declines or whatever, and they get a fourth DPS and it's 4 DPS versus 3 DPS and a healer. Honestly, if the DPS know what they're doing, that's actually an advantage for the DPS team because 4 DPS can just absolutely crap on a healer in a matter of seconds. And if they know what they're doing, there's nothing you can do to stop it.
Would you guys like to see? Because now it's like now it's just both of you. So I'll just say this: what any class changes? Any class changes that you guys would like to see? Nerf, buff, anything like that?
There's a bunch of changes I would like to see. I think they should tone back the amount of reflects that are out there. It seems like almost every class has a reflect now. I think they should do something other than heal to fulls to balance out some of the classes that have them. Because I'm not saying that like Jugs and Mercs shouldn't have heal to fulls, but they should get something else instead to make it where they don't have to completely ignore their defensives until they're low health and just pop one button. They should be, they should have to pop their defensives preemptively like everybody else. But on top of that, they still have other defensives that they can pop preemptively. So it just kind of imbalances things. One of the biggest things I'd like to see is Marauders. Like, I used to play a Carnage Marauder as a main. I really enjoy playing Carnage Marauder, but it seems like they took everything that's good about Carnage Marauder and made it global to the class. Like, everything that a Carnage Marauder was unique about, now all specs can do it. But then they gave Fury all these special things like stun immunities. And, like, Fury can do as much damage as Carnage, basically. Carnage is a little bit more burst in the window, but Fury can do more sustained damage. And on top of that, they have better survivability, which is ridiculous to me. I don't think there's any reason why a Marauder should have stun immunity.
Like as soon as they jump, force crush, whatever, and then they get like 6 seconds of stun immunity or something like that.
Yeah, every time they force crush, it's stun immunity.
Any other classes like Sin, Operative?
From a healer's perspective, I would say PT.
So Sins I think are good. Operatives, they need to be toned down on their off healing. I've seen an operative do 4.5k HPS as DPS spec in a solo ranked game before. That's just ridiculous. That shouldn't happen in solo ranked.
So if you're like a DPS class, your healing shouldn't have to be that as much as like say, well, not like as a healer, but it should be toned down a bit, like a Sork's heal, not Sin's heal, Ops heal, Merc's heal.
Op healing needs to be toned down. I mean, there's definitely. I mean, it's not a bad thing if they have self heals to kind of balance out the fact that there might be a little bit weaker as a DPS class versus other DPSs, but to be able to literally single handedly carry a team in solo ranked because you can do 4.5k HPS. I mean, that's about the same HPS that I see some healers in solo ranked doing heal spec. That's literally a game changer when you have a team with no healer against a team with 4.5k HPS. It's in tanks. Like, it's ridiculous.
And what would you say, Caramels? I know you're about to say something there.
Oh, it's just mostly from a healer's perspective. Give the fucking PT some DCDs, please. It's like, can you not get global?
If they give PTs DCs, which I think they should tone down their DPS a little bit because they are basically a glass cannon.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. But then again, they're like I don't know PT myself, okay? One or two DCDs, and that's it for them. You're literally gonna be as vulnerable as you are naked, basically. So I guess from just the healer's perspective, give them a bit of a DCD would be really, really nice. Just to kind of not let them die after one, two tunnels.
The order of targeting in solo ranked is basically determined around the class's DCs. Classes that have hard disengages, hard damage stops, and basically heal to fold are generally not targeted first, with the exception of like Juggernaut, just because that they can be tunneled through it pretty much anyways. But like that's why you see PTs go first. They don't have a heal to full. They don't have any hard damage stops or disengages. You'll see snipers next because again, their damage stop is really roll. That's the only thing that'll basically stop all incoming damage. Everything else will just mitigate it. So you can tunnel a sniper pretty well unless they do a good job of chaining their DCs. And if you have a healer, then they're even better at it. But after that, basically, you don't target operatives because they have so many ways of stopping damage. Like literally, they roll twice every 10 seconds. They stop all damage. Their dodge is also 150% reflect, so you don't want to tunnel into that. Mercs have 2 heal to fulls.
Anyone
The one doesn't count really, because you have to spec into it.
Everybody specs into it though.
Now, with that being said, with class changes, because I know everyone's always entitled to their opinion for class changes. There, I wanted to ask you, I guess the both of you, what would be your proudest accomplishment that you got in SWTOR?
Caramel. As in, that's my proudest accomplishment.
My proudest accomplishment,
Wow,
probably
that
I could
blush.
say, is when I got silver from being a fucking sandbag. Silver from the very first season that I've joined rank, because I've only joined ranks like halfway through season 9. And yeah, I blushed there. But yeah, don't worry.
I mean, I said that for more than one reason, and one of the reasons I said Caramel is because of the fact that I've kind of helped her a little bit after season 9, and like the amount that she's improved in her game is amazing.
I when I joined rank, I
I'm
have
so proud of
nothing.
her.
I have nothing but PVE. Defensives are my DCs or my utilities are completely fucked up. When I say fucked up, I don't even know what an insta-lift is. I don't know what a 30 DR is. I didn't know. The only thing that I know is the bubble flash, and the rest of it is all PVE. I have no single clue what a rank is, what my utilities are for a rank should be, and yet I managed to get myself to silver by dodging Rogan and Carissa and what do you call this? Prom. These good healers that are queuing prime time. I dodge them. I'm honest. I'm honestly dodging them because I know I'm not going to win against them. But yet I still get the silver at one point because for one I got carried real good. There's a good set of people back in season 9, and I got carried a lot. And having to get a silver the first time I joined into rank is something like, fuck, I'm not that a sandbag of much, but just a little bit. And then after that, that's when I started talking to Rogan back then, and he gave me a really, really, really good amount of one-to-one session in terms of healing. He made me read everything in my utility skills and my skill tree. So that one was something that I kind of owe him, because I never knew about. I don't even look at my crits. I don't look at a lot of things. So with ranks, I didn't know how important that was. So if that makes any sense for somebody to um, get something when knowing that they're shit is kind of feels a bit good.
Yeah, well, glad you got ranked there. So I'm proud of you there. I know you're like to swear a lot. I mean, you kind of surprised me and Nami a bit, with yelling out. I just like to meme it there, but it's like fucking AIDS. But
It's more of an emotion. I get carried up by emotion. But sorry, Morgan, your turn.
he said
Huh?
you.
Oh, huh?
Didn't you listen to the poor man? He said you. You know you screamed in his
Oh,
ear.
okay. I I don't mean it a lot of times. It's just you know how it is with ranks, and it's just gonna be you get carried away with all the things that's happening. So I don't mean to curse. I as much as possible I try to tone it down, but it doesn't work out really well for me.
I'm pretty sure if we had a tip jar next to you, and every time you cursed, you had to put $1 in. I'm sure someone would have a
Oh
home
god,
with
a
that.
dollar? Oh my god, we'd be millionaires.
What the fuck does that mean?
We never have to work again with all the swearing caramels will do.
It's not really that bad, is it?
That
I think
fucking
half the time you don't
sandbagging.
even. Yeah, I think half the time you don't even realize you're doing it.
The fuck? The sandbagging, the fucking shit, this fucking sand. Oh my gosh, I got globaled. Fucking AIDS.
But a
No,
lot of times, just excuse my language on that one. It can be very foul when I'm PvPing. So, ugh.
Thing for me is like I can be just as bad, but I'm also like very conscious about it because I've gotten so used to dealing with customers at work that I have to be able to turn it off, or I'll get in trouble at work.
now, in regards to this, do you guys have any events in the future? Anything you guys are going to be working on? Anything like any SWOT related? Any events? Anything that you guys want to do collectively, or like Aquila had her World PvP event? Do you guys have any ideas or anything you guys want to do, or maybe the community? Bring it to the community, and we can do that with you guys, or
Honestly, I'm not a leader, so I'm more of a participant. So I mostly support what Nami does, or what you do, or what Aquila or the rest of the other community streamers do. Because I believe I kind of feel that I could contribute more with doing that because you guys already have established your own community, and for somebody who just started streaming like what recently, I don't have that, and I would just rather be supporting you guys from from a member's perspective.
so nothing in general that you think would like Aquila's World event, or if like Kogas had like a World PvP in Tatooine or anything like that. There's nothing you would want to come up with or want to do.
I'd like to join, so um, but I can't lead though. That's for I guess from my side, I don't have the leadership skill. Though I'd love to join the events if I can, or if anybody's got a spare spot.
Well, you
Now,
guys
from
joined the first streamer community event, didn't you? I thought you both were there.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so are you guys going to join for next Saturday?
Definitely.
Awesome.
all right there. Now, is there anybody that you've inspired or have inspired by besides Roshan?
Oh, we can't say each other? That's no fair.
Yeah. Is there anybody that you would like someone like just come up to you like, man, watching your Sage play or heal play that makes me want to play the class or anything? Have you gotten anything like that?
Nah, I am bad. So I'm like the worst possible person to kind of come up with and um, use me as an inspiration, I guess. But inspired playing a different character as a sin, I've seen Mickey. and who else? Mickey and Lynx. They're the ones that kind of pushed me into playing a Sin, aside from sticking on a Sork or a Sage. And mostly that's for class changing inspiration. Um, yeah.
What's funny is one of the streamers that originally got me interested in playing sniper, and it's not like that it was inspiring or anything. It's just like, hey, I'm gonna watch him and try to see what he does and figure out from there. Was Devil, because I had watched him a lot before I started playing my sniper in ranked, just get an idea of how he plays it, and then I did it with my own style. I took some stuff from him, but then I created my own um, way of doing things. Um, But I mean, I've had plenty of people come to me and said, "Oh, hey, can you give me advice for healing, like what utility and stuff?" And I'm always, happy to help people out. So I'll always give them advice. I think as a player overall in general, one of the like best people I think in the game, and this is pretty common, I think, is Poison. If you guys have heard of him, Poisonberry, one of the best healers in the game, like consistent 10 to 12k HPS almost every single game he's in. I don't really ever talk to the guy, but like just everybody knows when you see him in a ranked game, like on the other team, you're like, oh shit, that's Poison. We're so screwed.
Is Poison the top highest healer, or from what I hear?
I'm sure he has been several times, but I don't know if he's like actively trying this season to get a top three. Usually he'll do it in G ranked. I don't see him in solos too much, although I think somebody I had on my team the other day was Poison. The thing is, you never really know who Poison is because he changes. He has like 10 different operatives that he heals on, and they're all different names. And he tries to like actually keep it a secret of who he is. Like only certain people know who he is. But then there's a point where you see the person like playing like a certain play style and just doing massive HPS, and you'll ask him like, "Are you Poison?" He's like, "Yeah."
And
There's
then they'll
something
have
Oh,
about
the good thing is he doesn't deny. If you ask him, he would
yeah,
literally say yes.
and it's surprising watching him because like you're always wondering like, "Oh, what is he doing that is
He
making such a
misses
massive
everyone.
difference?" But
Yeah.
he's just really good and really methodical about how he does everything, I guess. But then again, like I said, I've never talked to the guy, so I don't know how he is personality wise.
he's just like Cease, cold, calculating, methodical. Will wreck you if you leave him alone.
But he can definitely work like a Viagra. He keeps everybody up.
Wow.
All right, now let's get to X-rated.
You
Wow.
went there. This is now officially X-rated.
Wow. I mean, I know too, Solo is. Wait, have you guys seen Solo's healing?
Yeah, definitely. Poison did stream it at one point, but I wasn't sure. He was DPSing when he was streaming it. I would love to see him stream on his operative healer.
I want to see him stream on Stage Healer.
Oh yeah.
He's done it before, and again, it's consistent 10k HPS plus, like every game.
It's always a minimum of 10, like not even kind of like
Like I've
like
struggled to get 10k HPS. I've done it twice.
I
Um,
barely break fucking 9. Oh my god.
I can do 9 pretty consistently, but 10k is like everything needs to land into place. You need to be against a cleave comp. You need to get right into the combat, and then when the combat ends, like everybody needs to like just die right away. Like that's like I guess people don't realize at the end of a ranked game, if you're like so you're sitting there healing, and then your team kills somebody, but then the last 3 people are taking forever to kill, and you've caught up on your healing, now everybody's at full, you're losing HPS now because you don't have nothing to heal for like the next 30, 45 seconds, maybe even a minute of the game. But if you're healing nonstop and then suddenly your team gets a kill and then every other person on the team just slash sucks because there's no way they can win at that point anyways, then that's when you start seeing the scoreboard DPS and HPS numbers accurate. Because it's like the total time of the actual round from start to finish. It's not just in combat. It's not just, when certain people are alive. It's like the entire duration of the round.
I think I know who Poison is. Cease in disguise.
You really never know. It's him until you see the numbers.
It's Cease. Don't worry. I've caught him.
Cease is actually a very good healer as well. No surprise there, huh?
Hey, something I was recommending earlier, when we're done with the interviews, we should do some PvP challenges, males versus females here,
No,
2v2.
no,
No?
I'm gonna be
no.
no screaming at
I
you.
don't want to. I don't want to hear Nami curse at me.
I'll give you guys.
Filter, we're partners in crime. What are you doing? You're supposed to
You
let
can
me
do
win.
you and Nami versus me and Caramel then.
No,
And
he
what, you're
doesn't
gonna
want to
hear
hear me say, "Damn it, why didn't you kill him?" Now get Cease logged on. Okay, I'll be like, carry me, carry me.
I think we could have some really fun challenges
No, I think
between
Filter
the
and
four of
Cease
us or
against you
other people in
guys.
the community.
I'll step out.
No, you should go in just as an observer. Like you can just be a third person on a team and walk and go in as a like the stream.
Oh
We can
yeah,
have
that's what I'm
duos comp.
saying. I'll be the observer. I'm not the participant. But
We can have a lot of duos comp. PvP tournament right there.
there you go. Turned into a tournament. Yeah, the first time I met Caramels, she had come into my stream. This was actually quite a long time ago. And she would watch me while she was at work. And I was like, wow. And then she told me she was in EU. And I'm like, you're in EU working now? And she's like, yeah, I have actually NA times when I work. And what was really cute was that I was about to do a giveaway. I forgot what it was for or whatnot, and she donated a 60-day sub to be given away, and I was like, "Oh, you're adorable!" And ever since that time, I mean, Caramels has been a big supporter of many of us streamers, and I was just like, "You're so adorable!" So the outfit she's wearing is is the outfit she wanted so badly. And I was like, you have to have it. You have to have that.
Let's
Uh,
go, baby.
no, because I was giving it away. Wasn't I giving it away, Caramels, like on a giveaway? And then
You
she's
were
like,
doing
oh my
so
God,
bad.
I got to enter. I want that outfit. I'm like, it's
I
yours.
wanted to be fair, and I felt bad that you had to get it for me specifically.
I didn't
I did want it to
have
kind of
to.
feel fair.
See, I don't,
It's
when
like,
I do something, it's not because I feel like I have to do something. I
yeah,
wanted to do
kind of
it.
like. I wanted it to be a fair one. I wanted to join the rest of the guys that are
Well,
going for the roles. I was like, okay, I'm gonna join. I like the outfit, and then you
yeah.
suddenly just, okay, I'm gonna buy the. Oh my God, no, that's not what I.
Well, if anybody knows me, that's pretty much what I do for
As soon
everyone.
as soon as I tell you, like, oh my God, I like that. I was like, okay, here we go. Meet me at the thing, and then I'll give you this. After 2 days, I was like, oh, good God, this woman.
And then Rogean, I met, I think, through you. I believe.
Yeah,
I believe so.
I would like,
The shy
I
one.
would drag him into your channel, and because he's also a silent lurker, so he's just gonna be sitting there and just watch, and he's not gonna talk, but he's just definitely watching. And he would just give a good giggle whenever you're screaming about the ball being given to you, not to give ball to Nami like that. It's just
Oh, yeah, Peter was in Ireland just recently. He was hanging out at the Irish pubs.
yes. Peter was actually messaging me when he was in Ireland. He was in Dublin for a couple of days, so I don't have that Irish accent, Peter. I'm not from Ireland specifically, but I have been living here for the last 2.5 years, so I don't have that accent.
Or she lost it when she got, or she lost it in general.
Wait, what?
I really don't have one, so I don't know.
Poor Peter.
But Peter did have a good time when he was in Ireland. He took a couple of tours from a certain tour company in Dublin, so he was kind enough to have he gave me cartel coins as a kind of like a thank you. I was like, Jesus Christ, he didn't have to do that, but yes, he did. I, I'm hoping that you enjoyed your tour and your vacation, because Ireland is beautiful.
do see some questions there. Did you understand what Duck's question is? He always asks that of every. He said, "I have a question for both interviewees. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?"
Horse-sized duck. I would rather go for the horse-sized duck. It's a lot fluffier.
You could also go on a ride. You could
Yeah,
take
you
the
could just
duck for a ride.
yeah, you
That's
just go
probably
flop,
what
flop,
Duck's
flop.
asking. He wants to know if you're going to take him for a ride. Trick question. Trick question. I'll take the 100 little duck, horse, ducks, whatever. Or ducks, whatever. The other one. The first one. I picked first one.
Oh. No, 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 not a ride. Um, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to skip on the ride, but definitely a fluffy one. I'm gonna be dead with Rogan.
I think, and then I was going to ask there. I think Kogas was asking a question there, but I might be taking it out of context there because you guys were talking about PvP. Forget where did this question go? Kagiwagi there. It says, "What do you lose if you spec into the Merc heal to full?"
Ooh, I couldn't answer that. I don't play a merc in any regular amount.
I I play a healer on a merc, and I guess from a DPS perspective, it might be something that's not viable for you if you are looking into a DPS one or
I'm
DPS
pretty sure
one.
every DPS merc has that. The Colto. It's the
Heal to
Colto
60%.
60% instead of
Yeah,
30%.
but for
Yeah,
a
no.
healer, we take those for mostly tunnels anyway, and for from a healer's perspective, I give up immunity to stuns and interrupts for it, and the 15% DR from the probes, or is it from the probes or from a 15%
I
DR
wouldn't
for
give
me?
up any stun immunity for it, honestly.
Yeah, it's hard when you go for either you go for 15% DR, or would you rather go to 60%?
Honestly, as a healer, I would go for 30% on the Colto and not take the utility because if you're getting low enough that you need to use it, it's going to keep you at 30% for the duration of the ability, and then you can heal yourself up from there. So it's
But
more
then
important for a
again,
DPS, but not as important for a healer, in my opinion.
yeah, yeah, well, I guess for DPS, it's gonna be from a different point of view. So, I guess for me, because whenever I have the what do you call this, the one that crits every 10 stacks, I'm already immune to interrupts for like 10 or 6 or 10 seconds. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
I can tell you everything you want to know about Sage utilities.
Okay,
I have a
translating that to
question.
Sork
So for
utility.
this season, since it just started, what, it's been a week or has it been 2 weeks now? Are you trying to go for top three? Is that a goal this season as well, Rogian? Or
I don't really try for it. I didn't even technically I wasn't even shooting for it in season 9 until I actually got close to getting it, and I was like, wow, I could actually. When I first started playing in season 9, I started playing on just my Marauder and Sentinel, and um, I had tried Sork healing, but back then it was very Republic sided, and I had enjoyed healing before. That was when I had come back to the game. That was early last year. And I was like, hey, if everything's Republic sided, why don't I actually make a Sage and give it a shot on ranked? So I created a Sage, leveled him up, and started queuing ranked. And that was it was late into the season. It was probably like March or something, April and March last year. And I got, past 1750 for gold. And I was like, hey, I'm just going to keep playing this character because I'm having fun with it. Next thing I know, I'm like 1900, then I'm 2000. And I'm just like, I can keep going. Then I'm 2100, and I'm like, wow, I could really actually get up to like top three if I kept going. Had to get up to, I think it was 2330 or something. It wasn't an original goal of mine. I just was like, hey, I could just keep playing this character, and it happened.
now, do you take? Well, this might be a really dumb question, but do you take ranked as serious? Do you think, since you have already a top three title?
I
Or
still take every game seriously. You want to win, and your elo is on the line. Because especially nowadays with wanting to get gold on your characters, and it's harder to get gold now. It's just extremely hard with the way that the games are going. It's nothing like it was in season 9. I'd say I get less frustrated on a loss than I did during season 9 when I was actually trying to climb on my sage. Because losses nowadays you just kind of accept them as they're going to happen, because the matchmaking system the way it is that you just every few games you're going to get a loss.
now I know we spoke earlier before the interview even started, and uh, so I'm going to bring it up just because basically you both are ranked players, and we've had other ranked players on in previous pod streams. But I'd like to know, what are you seeing in the queues? Are you seeing that there's more, I guess, throwers, win traders, etc.?
It's
What are you
it's hard to
seeing the
tell
change?
if they're throwing win trading or they're just queuing to get their monumental crystal. you really you really don't know. So I guess you can tell who the throwers are because you would see them more and you would recognize that, hey, they did really good this game, but then the next game they did absolutely garbage. And that's when you can tell that they're intentionally not trying in certain games, and that's when you can make at least a fairly accurate assessment that they're throwing. And I don't see that too often right now. I don't think anybody's taking it so seriously right now that they need to be throwing or win trading, and I honestly don't see that happening very often. I
Well,
just
it's way too early for the season anyway to
Yeah, typically you won't see
start
that until the end of the season,
doing that.
anyways.
Yeah, it
Um,
starts getting a bit cancerous at the end of the season.
I just see a lot of players that are just strictly PVE players that don't really PvP much. They don't even do regs, but they want to jump into ranked because it's a good way to get UCs, and it's one of the weeklies. If they can't kill Queen on their own or get a group to kill Queen, then they just lose 50 times in ranked and they get their monumental crystal.
Yeah, I really wish that they would remove that actually, because it's really not fair for the rank community as well.
Well, they didn't remove it. What I'm assuming is because before, if you can recall, about 10 matches, I think, for you to either complete your weekly or not. So people would go for 10. Now, with Swotor being a smartass, they put it to 50. Because who would want to put up 50 losses to get a fucking monumental crystal? But still, people do it.
Yeah, but still,
And
what people do is they queue in hoping to get carried now.
yes, which is, it's quite sad. And I probably, some people in the community may have recognized me at some point screaming at somebody over just basically being toxic, because you see them and they have no idea what they're doing, which it can be frustrating to people who's actually trying, if that makes any sense. It's not because it can be frustrating, and you gotta kind of brace yourself into that because it will happen no matter what.
Well, I've also seen, just because, and again, this was in preseason, and this happened to me, I think, yesterday as well, but more so in preseason, I want to say, is that there would be people that would queue up and they'd get in a match, and then, like, just before it was about to start, they'd leave. And I'm like, okay, why did they leave? And like yesterday, I had someone who like stuck it like first round, and then second round they came in and fought, but then just died, and it was just like, that's kind of frustrating. And it wasn't, unfortunately, I mean, it would be different if it was somebody who like was new and just wanted to get their crystal.
Thing is, if you're new,
It
you should
wasn't
be doing
that.
regs.
Yeah, it
And I know they're
wasn't.
just
It
doing it just for
wasn't
the
that.
crystal, but like, and that was fine during preseason. There was actually a lot more people doing it in preseason for their crystals, and that was fine. Like people were all they were straightforward with everybody. They're like, "Hey, I'm only here for my crystal," and everybody was like, "Oh, that's fine. You're preseason. Don't worry about it. Just do what you can." And I tried to help people as much as I could. But now that we're actually in a ranked season, I've actually seen most of those people stop, which is good. If they don't feel that they're confident enough to be in ranked, then they probably shouldn't. But then you still have the people that just don't care about ruining others' experiences, and they're just like, I'm only here for my crystal, and I don't care if we lose.
Well, this
That's just
person,
inconsiderate.
no, this person definitely was someone who is in the rank community. I mean, the first thing coming in was, oh, well, there goes my chances of top three. I'm like, okay, but I mean,
Honestly
it's
speaking,
it's kind of, I don't know. I think it's kind of sad that I see a lot of top ranked. Well, I'm gonna call them the top tier ranked players. That they make a lot of alts. I think where they're able to do that as well. They're not on their mains. They have like other characters that are like 230 geared, ogged, and are out there queuing, and they don't really care.
I'd rather have a player that knows what he's doing in 230 gear than a player that's fully geared not knowing what he's.
But see, here's the thing: is I don't think that he's actually queuing on this new 230 tune to actually climb with it.
Probably not, but the thing is that even in 230 gear, you're going to be bolstered to 252.
but then again, your survivability is always not going to be at par because, despite having bolstered by the PvP itself, if your utility, if you don't know what you're doing, you're basically going to be screwed up no matter
That's
how
what I'm saying. If
bolstered
you're a
you are.
230 player and you don't know what you're doing, you're no better off. But if you're somebody who is normally a good ranked player and you're on an alt in 230 gear, you're still a good ranked player. You just not as good. Then you're still going to do way better than somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, even max geared.
Well, yeah, that's a given, right? It comes down to knowing your class and how to
It's
play.
just that it's annoying that they would have to. Why do you have to actually not even give it a try at least one round before you start screwing the rank around and not see who these people are? And not unless you've been with them for the last couple of matches, but as Nami was saying, he stuck it the first time, which is it can be really triggering, especially at the beginning of the match. It's like trash talking somebody at the start of the match without even seeing what they're capable of.
Just be aware if you slash stick before the timer starts, it's going to revive you anyways.
Oh, he stuck right when the doors opened.
Oh, that's a rip then.
Yeah, he was dead first round, and then on second round, he came back and was, well. No, of course he revived, right? So then he went to play second. I just think that there's some other ranked players that are making alts that probably are just. It kind of is messing, in my opinion, or continually messing up the rank queue. I don't know. Maybe they're queuing because they want to get, because they do know how to play. Maybe perhaps they're going to get paired with someone who knows what they're doing, that are higher elo, since that's what seems to happen, right? It takes the higher player and then queues them with someone who's less rated. Is that how it goes? How are you queued? I mean, how do they formulate the
They
teams?
completely changed the system with the start of season 10. It used to be in season 9 where it would. Here's what I think. Here's my opinion. So we know for a fact how season 9 matchmaking worked. It would take the highest rated person. Well, first of all, it would try to create a match around the person that's been in queue, but it would still try to match ratings. So it would take the highest rating person, put them on one team, take the next highest rated, put in the other team, next highest on the first team, next highest on the second team. Um, then what they realized was that because of that system, it was taking the highest rated healer and then putting the second highest rated healer on the other team, and then putting the highest rated DPS on the first team with the first highest rated healer. So the highest rated healer was always getting with the highest rated DPS. Now there are ways to fix that doesn't completely break the matchmaking, but no, what they decided to do instead, and I'm not. This is the part that I'm not fully sure about. They did something that just completely changed everything, and I think what they did was they now take the highest rated person and match them with the lowest rated person. So whereas in the past, if you had like 20 people in queue, it'd be the top 8 people all in a game with each other, which worked out great because then you'd actually have a good game. You have high rated people on the same game. Now you have these games that are starting where you have the top 4 people in the of the 20 people in the queue and the bottom 4 people all in the same game, and it basically becomes whichever team gets the person that's actually just going to sit there and do nothing, that's going to lose. It's not as fun. Like season 10 and 11 has not been as fun as season 9 was. The competitiveness is not there anymore. Basically, it becomes whoever gets the worst players.
Now, it's kind of funny, like in season 9, I saw more mat farmers though in queue than season 10. And wouldn't you think that there'd be more mat farmers in queue, like group ranked? Or are you guys seeing that in group rank since I don't play group rank?
I saw plenty of Matt Farmers in group ranks in season 9. I haven't queued group ranks since then though, so I couldn't tell.
Yeah, because I remember season 9 because, and I'll tell you why I know this is because come season 10, because I was able to get placed with a good group actually on Satil Sean. I was hoping I could do the same this past season in 10, and there just wasn't anybody there. And so I ended up having to go solo ranked on both.
Because if they're farming monumental crystals, it's much easier to do the world bosses than it is to do group ranked. So thank God. But if they're going after like the actual match you get from the weekly of doing group ranked, then I think that's only, is that 50 losses now as well, or did they
That's
keep that
50
at 10
losses.
losses? Is it 50 now? So you probably see less
Yeah.
Matt Farmers in queue now.
Yeah, I did see that. So that
I
kind
don't know
of
how
at the same
yeah.
time, I don't know. I think the whole system is needs to be revamped, to be honest. Because
It's
I'd
kind of
rather, if
it's
I'm queuing, I'd rather be with people at least on my level, my playing level. Of course, you're going to get some of the people that are on. I will talk League of Legends terms on a Smurf account, but for the most part, it'd be everybody around the same elo, let's say. But yeah, there's that. So anyway, Filter, do you have more questions, or are there any questions from the chat?
I hear it. See, no one wants to do 50 matches. I don't want to go into ranked PvP and have to do 50 matches or 10 matches or 25 matches or do the queen. So it's just kind of like that's the reason I'm not 257. I mean 258. I mean fully. So I'm done with that.
nobody. I'm actually surprised because there are people or there are some solo players that would put up with 50 losses just to get a bloody monumental crystal. So, Cease doesn't want that, but he'd be surprised how desperate people can get. They would put up with 50 fucking losses and all the toxicity in ranked matches just for the sake of getting the crystal.
Like I see plenty of people that just queue in a ranked. They like either they probably have their chat turned off. Honestly, they just block chat. They don't listen to anybody. They don't talk to anybody, and they just run in and they'll like do stuff, but they'll just completely ignore the plan because they probably didn't read it to begin with, and they'll just attack whoever they want to attack. And it's completely detrimental to the team.